Good. Okay. Good. Okay.
Hi, my name is Carole.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Carole Baskin, and this is Cat Chat. Today with me is Cindy Wines, and the reason I thought that you might want to hear from Cindy is because sometimes we get calls from people that say they've heard about an ad on Craigslist or someplace else about making money for Big Cat Rescue, and they want to know if it's a scam. And so I want you to know it's not a scam if it's Cindy Wines. And so I want you to know who Cindy is and what it is that she's doing to try and help Big Cat Rescue. And also, she is really big into animal rescue herself, as far as her rescue animals at home and other sanctuaries that she deals with. So we're going to be talking with Cindy about some of those interests as well. So thank you for joining me, Cindy.
Thank you, Carole.
First, tell us a little bit about you. When did you first become interested in animals?
Well, I've actually, when I was a little girl, I was always trying to rescue dogs and cats, and I've always loved animals. I basically, for 21 years, have had my business called Earth and Animal Wellness. I actually originally lived in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it's interesting that when you rescued those bobcats from northern Minnesota, and I met you actually on the internet 4 or 5 years ago when I heard about Tony the Tiger. That is a very sad Bengal tiger in Grosstat, Louisiana, who is in that very abusive enclosure there at that kind of that roadside zoo at the diesel truck stop, and I sure hope that we can get him out of there and get him to your wonderful sanctuary. But I actually relocated 3 years ago from Tucson, Arizona. We lived down there for 6 years, and I worked very actively with the Humane Society in Tucson as well as the Humane Society in Phoenix, Arizona. And basically love elephants. I met the owner, Pat Derby, of the Elephant Sanctuary Paws, Performing Animal Welfare Society, which is in San Andreas, California. And she also has quite a few she has tigers, some lions, she has bobcats, some wolves, and they actually, when the circuses were shut down in Bolivia, let's see, Animal Defenders International, they rescued 5 lions that had been in rusty cages their whole lives. And Bob Barker works very actively with PAWS in San Andreas, California. And when they built a beautiful, huge enclosure so that when the lions, for the first time, they were able to put their paws on grass and they were able to swim in the ponds and claw each other, claw the trees, play with each other. It was really, really wonderful. So I've always, I'm just so happy that you are a wonderful sanctuary, and I was so glad to be able to be there 2 years ago to meet you and see your wonderful facility. So I've always loved animals, and I currently am working with a horse rescue ranch here in northern Idaho called Orphan Acres, and I actually help Orphan Acres, who's been around since 1985, rescuing abused and abandoned horses. And this week I just got banning horse-drawn carriages involved in New York, and they're also going to be a part of your group there. So besides helping Big Cat Rescue I want to be able to I'm just so excited to be working with you. So I've always had a love for animals. We currently have 4 rescue dogs. We have 8 cats. And
oh my gosh, I didn't realize you had 8 cats.
Well, when we moved to our place here in Princeton, Idaho, which is a teeny tiny town of 600 people, they had left a cat in the attic of the barn, and she was pregnant. And sure enough, she had 5 kitties. And my husband named her Wayland because he thought he was a she. And then basically, her name is Waylynn, and she had 5 babies. So we kept the babies. We got them all spayed and neutered, which Bob Barker talks about. Be sure to spay and neuter your dogs and cats. Very important. And so we just integrated her into our house. And the barn, actually, my husband Rocky brought in huge logs, and he has branches, and he has carpeted shelves. And on my blog, earthandanimalwellness.com, you can see some videos. You can see how he rounds them up once a day. He has trays of food. He has them trained to go into the barn, and we have a heater in there, and they have carpeted shelves and hammocks. They're pretty spoiled. They're very, very spoiled. So when people say they can't round up cats, he knows how to round up cats. And I have a video on my blog from a month ago where he just taps a pan, and they all follow him into the garage with their little tails up in the air, and they get locked up safe and sound from the coyotes and the owls. We have coyotes and owls up here, so yeah.
Mm.
Anyway,
when you mentioned Paws, have you ever actually been to their facility, or were you talking about videos that you had seen from there?
yes.
Oh, I've never been there.
No, I've personally been to that facility. Oh, it's wonderful. Now, I have not been there since they actually built the new facility that Bob Barker funded for the lions, but I did see the tigers that were rescued from Colton facility, or some Colton place. Yeah, where they had lions that had been starved and stuffed in the freezer, and it was just horrible. So they have a lot of these tigers, actually. I have personally gone and I personally came to visit you to check out your facility. I personally flew up 3 times the summer of 2010 to visit Orphan Acres, where we relocated to northern Idaho. And then I also personally visited Paws back 3 years ago to go and see the elephants, and I was so happy. They just got 3 elephants in from Toronto. Now they have 11 elephants. So, wow. A lot.
Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine what it must be like to try and raise money to feed elephants. Whew.
Well, Bob Barker is the one that helps them, and that's why I'm so glad that I'm actually able to help you and Howard with fundraising for Big Cat Rescue.
And I know for years you had contacted me and said, I've got this great idea, it would really be helpful, and I kept putting it off, and I finally had time to listen to what you had to say, and I was so pleased with the products and with the way the organization believes as far as their level of integrity and that sort of thing. And so I know that you prefer to talk to people one-on-one about the opportunities there and about the products, but what can you share with us about what you do with Earth and Animal Wellness?
Okay, Earth and Animal Wellness is actually in partnership with our parent company, which is located in Idaho, and we have animal-friendly, kid-friendly products with no animal testing, no animal ingredients, and I'm so glad that you use non-toxic cleaning products there in the kitchen with your volunteers, because I know that you don't like using bleach, and one of our disinfectants is all natural, made with thyme and lemons, and it kills all germs. It's safer on your pets, it's safer on your kids, and it's safe in the kitchen too when you're cooking food. And you know, for you to be concerned about what your volunteers are using when you're preparing the meat and preparing all the food for your 111 big cats, because when I was there 2 years ago, you had 85. So you've added some big cats. And I'm happy too that you were able to get is it 40 acres next to Big Cat Rescue? You've just acquired the 40 acres there?
Well, we acquired
got those
10
40 acres.
We acquired 10 acres 2 years ago, probably since you've been here, and then we just acquired another 10 a few days ago, and we're trying to buy another 4 to the south of us right now.
Okay, so that was it. Alrighty. I think I'm confusing you. Okay, good. Well, that's still. And I'm so excited about your 2.5 acre playground for the big cats. It is so wonderful. But anyway, so people that love their animals and love their kids, they want to be using products that are non-toxic. And this company I work with has been around for 29 years. They have safe ingredients. The products they have, and we have a natural dog shampoo. We have a natural dog vitamin. So for any of you people out there that have dogs, we don't have cat vitamins. I wish we did, but we don't. But I am so glad that we're able to help you as far as using products that are safe. And even when the cats have dental surgery, or the one cat that had her claws that were curled up into her pads, which was so terrible, and you had to do surgery. You know, we're just happy about the fact that our products are made with a natural ingredient called tea tree oil, and the tea tree oil that we have it's a natural oil, and it's harvested with oil with distillation, steam distillation versus chemicals. So we don't have any chemicals in any of our products.
Wow.
So.
And I can tell you from using the products that they work every bit as well, if not better, than the types of things that you would buy in the store that are toxic to your animals.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Procter & Gamble kills 150,000 animals a year for animal testing. And Procter & Gamble is the main #1 household product that people use because they spend $40 billion a year on advertising. So from the minute the baby is born, they say from the cradle to the grave, they're advertising products that, you know, are toxic, and there's no excuse for animal testing. And that's what's important. And our products are less expensive too. So that's another thing is people think, well, if these products are so good, because when people go to their local co-op or their health food store and they buy products there, they're very expensive. And these products, because there's no middlemen and they're shipped on your side of the country, they're basically from our warehouse in Tennessee to your door within 3 days. You're saving money, you're saving time. Every time people shop from our headquarters, 5% goes back to Big Cat Rescue and some of my other favorite sanctuaries. And then I know with you that we're helping you to make like 14 to 20%, and then you give that back to Big Cat Rescue, which is so wonderful. And you know, I've been advertising on Craigslist saying, you know, please help with fundraising for Big Cat Rescue, and I've got some pictures of the cougars with their Christmas hats on. They're so cute. And some of the other lions and tigers, you know, trying to get into their packages. And, you know, that's one thing that's so wonderful with you guys is the fact that you have mental stimulation for your big cats. There's a place up here in Spokane, and it's not a good place. I went to visit them, and I really feel sorry for the big cats that are basically in dirt, barren cages, with a worn out log. They have no mental stimulation. I'd really like to try to make either USDA or whatever. I don't know who I talk to. Maybe I'll talk to you about that later on, of who I can make aware that they have this place, and that it's, I don't know, it's just and they feed the cats meat on sticks and everything, and you know that's not good. It's not good at all. So I'm really glad that you don't physically have people standing next to the big cats. I heard about a place down in Sarasota. I'm really glad people can't go in there and pet the cats. You know, scary, really scary. And I know some of your videos where you've noted all the accidents of what happens when volunteers are allowed to go in. You have so many safety features that are so good with Big Cat Rescue. Very good.
Well, it's so important to not only protect the cats, but to protect the people that work with them every day, and certainly to protect the public from coming into close proximity with these animals. Even cubs can take a finger off once they're 12 weeks old or so. They have a very tough bite and really sharp teeth. And so that's why we don't allow any kind of contact at all here. You know, it's not animal related, but I was just thinking, you said that I met you 2 years ago, and that was when you shared with me the vitamins that are produced by this company. And back when you were here, my hair was very short, and I'm unraveling it now so that you can see. People ask me, they tell me all the time,
Wow.
They're like, look at your hair. It's just huge. And the reason it's so huge is because of these vitamins. It's like every few days I'm having to clip my fingernails and my toenails, and my hair has just grown like crazy. And I really believe it's because of these vitamins. And part of the part of the thing that I think scares people about the idea of using these products is that you have to commit to get the good prices. You have to commit to a certain number of bonus points or something each month. But just the vitamins that I take, that meets my minimum every single month. So it's not like I'm being forced to buy stuff I don't need. I'm buying stuff that's really making me healthy and getting a great deal on the other products by doing that.
Yes. Have you noticed that you haven't been sick at all? No colds,
Well,
no flus? You're not sick.
I never get sick anyway, but I used to be on really good vitamins before this, and I switched to see whether or not this was as good, and I really think it's better.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I've been taking them for 21 years,
Oh
and I
my.
just love them. They see, then that's another thing too. Yeah, they just had something on TV about when you take vitamins, they need to be whole food, and these are made with the basis of fruits and vegetables and other whole foods. They're small, they're easy to swallow, and they're all natural, and that makes a big difference. It's the only vitamin line registered with the U.S. Patent Office, and there's an 85% absorption. So, and if you don't like them, you can send them back. That's a great thing about all of our products is you use them for 60 days, and if you don't like them, you can send them back. And again, every time people are shopping, 5% goes to Big Cat Rescue, and it really makes a big difference. They're passively donating even though they don't even know it. So, yeah, so your hair is long compared to when I last saw you, yes.
I'm always looking. It's almost to the point where now, I don't know if you can see that, but it's as far as I can reach with my hand. So
I
there's
can.
4 more inches,
Oh
and I
my
won't be able
God.
to brush my hair anymore.
Wow. Is Jamie taking the vitamins too? Is Jamie
No,
taking the vitamins also?
Jamie will not take vitamins.
Okay.
She's always been averse to
Oh,
that. But we tried some of those spray type vitamins with her for a
it's like,
while, and she didn't do that either. But you know what the nice thing about these vitamins that I get from you is that they come already in a little package, and they're marked AM and PM. So like every day I just pull out my AM and PM, and then I
mhm.
take the AM ones in the morning and the PM ones at night, and it's all counted out for me. I don't have to lay them. You know, I used to have to lay out all these little Ziploc bags and fill all the bags with all of my different vitamins.
Yeah,
Now they're just all done for me, so it's a
yeah,
time saver too.
yeah. Well, we now have a chocolate shake for the kids, so maybe she'll drink the chocolate shake.
For kids, she's 33 years old.
Well, it's good for up to 17 years old.
Maybe she
Yeah,
drinks two.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Are there other organizations that you're working with the same program to help support them?
yes, as I told you, I just got involved with Ban Horse-Drawn Carriages in New York, which is actually going to be a part of your organization. I work with Orphan Acres, and I was actually working with PAWS, Performing Animal Welfare Society, but Bob Barker pretty much takes care of a lot of their financial needs.
Mm.
And so they do use some of our products to soak the elephant's feet because when they come in, their feet are always in such bad shape. And I'm looking for other animal sanctuaries because it's free for an animal sanctuary to get involved. So if any of you know of somebody that is open to hearing about this program, um, I have a blog which is earthandanimalwellness.com. Look at my blog. I have pictures of some of the big cats from Big Cat Rescue as well as our pets are on there, videos that are of importance to me. And you can email me, okay? And I'll be happy to do a little webinar, a little 20-minute webinar with you and just show you how we can help your favorite animal sanctuaries, like a pit bull rescue. I did approach pit bulls and parolees, Tia, who runs
Mm.
out of St. Louis. But there's so many rescues that if they had an extra $500 a month coming in, and the thing is that when you lead us to those animal rescues, not only are we helping them, but we're helping you too. So it's all encompassing. We're all being helped by this program.
And you get that check every month in the mail. I got mine today and endorsed it over to have it deposited into Big Cat Rescue's account.
Yay, yay, that's good. That's good. They're going to start direct deposit here, probably, hopefully, within the next 3 months.
Oh, that'd
So
be
that'll be
great.
good.
I would like that a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Anything that saves me from
Yep.
having to go through more mail. Oh gosh.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know, one of the most
And
amazing.
everybody that I talk to, I tell them,
Go ahead.
everybody I talk to, because I'm working the Tampa area, and Craigslist. I tell them go and visit you.
Oh,
So
thank
if
you.
you have people, if you're in the your gift store there, I tell them to come and see your beautiful sanctuary, and they're always so excited. Or they say, "Oh yes, we've seen it. It's wonderful." So.
You know, I had a situation just yesterday or the day before, Saturday, I guess. A guy calls me up first thing in the morning, and he says that there is a big, fat, black otter stuck under his gate. And I said, well, can you go out and take a picture of it? And he said, no, I'm afraid to go out in the yard. And so I said, well, have you ever seen an otter before? And he said, yeah. He said, Lake Hollingsworth is right down the road here. And so I've been out on the boat. And he said a friend of his actually dove in the water and thought he was going to pet the otter and ended up getting bitten pretty badly. So that's why he didn't want to go out in the yard with the otter. So I drive over. It's an hour to get to Lakeland to go see this otter and to see if I can help it get out from under the gate. Meanwhile, this otter gets out from under the gate before I get there. But anyway, I get there, and I go door to door asking anybody if they've seen the otter. Nobody's seen the otter. I finally get to this one guy's house, and he said, well, that sounds like my cat Charlie. And I said, well, could be. Describe your cat Charlie. And so he says, well, he's big, and he's black, and he's fat, and somebody bit his tail off, so he's got this pointy little short tail. And I'm thinking, that's got to be this otter that everybody is thinking that they've seen. So then we end up on this manhunt for Charlie because now he's missing. He was obviously stuck under a gate earlier, and he was found in the end. But what was interesting about going door to door an hour from here is that people knew about Big Cat Rescue. So it was like, wow, that's so cool that all that way away, as I'm handing out my cards and saying, hey, if you see an otter, call me, people are saying, yeah, I love you guys.
That's so cool. That's great. You guys you're so wonderful. And I just, in talking with other people and saying, would you like to help with fundraising? Because sometimes we get 20 or 30 calls a day, and they want to help Big Cat Rescue. And I just really appreciate the fact that, you endorse Earth and Animal Wellness, and you say it's a good company, and that really helps a lot, because then you helping us, and we can help you and help everyone else too. It works out good.
Well, we certainly believe in it. We've had enough time of using your products to really vouch for how wonderful they are. My husband's favorite product is something I've never even heard of before, but you guys have it. And you can take your clothes that are like all wrinkled and mangled and put them on a hanger and just spray them with this stuff. And man, you pull on it, and you pull the material, and it just, wrinkles are gone, and it's like, dang, that's just going to put the irons out of business. This thing is so cool.
That's right. Yep, the guys love it. Yep.
Great.
I've had some ladies say, "Can I use it on my?" I've had some ladies say, "Can I use it on my face to remove wrinkles?"
I think I'm going to try that.
Yeah, right. Oh. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
You mentioned your husband Rocky. Does he work?
By the
with
way,
you?
I love. Yes. Yes. Yes, he does. I actually met my husband through this company. It'll be 23 years in May that he's been a part of this wonderful health and wellness company. And it was 21 years last month. And we met through this company. We worked together every day for 21 years. Actually, 22 years. We have to have a good relationship. Well, you and Howard. And we're still married, and we're together and having fun. Well, you guys work together too.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So.
Can you?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Can you share with the audience what that has meant for you guys to work in this business, as far as what kind of lifestyle you can enjoy and that sort of thing?
Oh, it is so wonderful. I look at the news and the bumper-to-bumper traffic and the fact that they might be starting a tax in the future on how many miles you drive in your car, and to be able to work from home, and if we had kids, to be able to be with our kids, be with our animals. I mean, we have 4 dogs, and we have 3 indoor cats. One of our cats, Miss Kitty, is going to be 19 years old next month. She's going to be 19. And I really, yeah, and you know, it's so fun because Rocky even says to me that when I'm gone during the day, because I'll go into town, we live in a town of 600 people, so it's a pretty tiny town. And we live 40 minutes from another town, Moscow, Idaho, which is 25,000 people, which is still small compared to where you guys are. But he goes, during the day, he can see our outdoor cats, you know, jumping in the air and playing with each other and climbing trees and chasing the birdies, and they're really good mousers. You don't have any problems with mice. But there are just so many things that being able to work from home, it makes all the difference in the world. And we're so spoiled. And, you know, with this economy, for people to be able to work from home and make as much as they want and have their grocery items that they're buying from our company be a tax deduction. It's so hard to start up a business today, put all the money into a franchise. It's very unrealistic, it really is. And yeah, it's just, you know, and to be able to help people, and in your situation, help Big Cat Rescue, makes all the difference in the world. It really does. To feel good about working with a company that has products that are safe for your kids, safe for your pets, and truly safe for the earth.
And you don't have to have like a huge warehouse of stuff or have a huge investment in products either.
No, no, we don't, you're right. We don't stock inventory. We don't sell products, which is really good. They're made here in the U.S. versus being made in China. And a lot of people don't realize when you go to the store, everything comes from China. Even the dog treats. You have to even watch, there's certain codes on the back of the package. It looks like it comes from the U.S. I've had people tell me their dogs have gotten sick from the dog treats when they use toxic ingredients, toxic chicken, whatever. We have dog vitamins that are made here in the U.S., made here in Idaho, and our dog shampoo is natural. When we lived in Tucson, we had a border collie that we brought with us from Montana, and we basically would bring her in, you know, once every 3 or 4 months to get groomed. And we had a gal that we had gotten involved with our company that had open sores all over her arms from using toxic dog shampoo. Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo, yeah, has the same pH level as perm solution. It's very acidic. I would not even wash my dog with Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. So for you moms out there, we have safe baby care products, the same pH as water. No chemicals, no Novocaine, no formaldehyde, which is in everything. It's amazing. So
and
yeah,
the Novocaine
we don't sell products, we don't stock inventory.
The Novocaine
exactly, to deaden the tear ducts. Right. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. And another thing too, the laws by some of these big soap companies for children's products have not been updated since 1940. So they have pesticides that are in these baby care products. Our bubble baths are safe for little girls to use. So for you moms out there, I mean, I would love to show you a product line that has natural ingredients for your baby vitamins, chewable baby vitamins, sugar-free, toothpaste made with xylitol for the kids. We have a training gel and a non-training gel. I wish we had dog toothpaste. We don't have that yet, but you never know. So.
I have tried some of the glycemic shakes because I have hypoglycemia, and those have really worked well for me. And the fiber bars, I love those. They taste good, and they give you such great dose of fiber that you need to get in your diet when you get to be my age. So it's nice to have something that actually tastes good to be able to take care of your body.
Yeah, there's some pretty nasty bars out there that, oh, they're expensive and they taste nasty, and that's the neat thing with all of our products is they are made with natural ingredients. They're researched. We have a team of doctors and scientists that research everything. And again, they're shipped to your door right away directly from our factory, which is good too. And our company, by the way, is not a multi-level company. So it's kind of like a Costco or BJ's or a Sam's Club membership. So that's something that's good too.
Except that it's shipped to your door. You don't have to go get it.
Yeah, right, right. Ship right to your door.
I love that
Hmm.
part of it. Oh
Yeah.
man, do I
So that,
love that. I hate to shop.
well, and you're so busy, Carol. You're so busy. So are you still making a lot of trips to Washington for legislation regarding not having exotic cats in your backyard, things like that? Are you still doing trips to Washington,
I,
D.C.?
I am, and we just had our first ever fly-in, which was really exciting. The big organizations like the Humane Society of the United States, they have a fly-in once, and now it's once every 2 years, where they can get, I don't know, over 1,000, maybe close to 2,000 people that come to it. And in fact, we were the Diamond sponsor, which is their highest level sponsor last year, and plan to be for the 2014 fly-in that they'll be doing. But theirs is like, it's over the weekend and several days of workshops and everything else. The thing that we just did, we did it with IFAW, the International Fund for Animal Welfare, and we just went in on a Sunday. We trained our volunteers that we got to come, or not volunteers, but they were supporters of ours from key districts. We flew them into DC, trained them how to go talk to their lawmakers, and then took them to their lawmakers to meet them and to speak up for why we need the Big Cats and Public Safety Protection Act. And that was a wonderful opportunity to meet some of our most vocal supporters who were in those key districts, and to see what it was like for them to feel so empowered, to know the facts and to be able to go to their lawmakers and say, this is what I want. And so we'll probably do it again in January or February of this upcoming year. And there's a new thing that we're doing. I've just posted it on Facebook, but I haven't really started advertising it yet, and it's called March for Lions. And I know how much you are opposed to canned hunting of lions, and this is going to be all around the world.
Yes.
Different organizations are going to, on March 15th, they're going to have a March for the Lions to raise awareness about these lions that are killed in canned hunts. So we're going to be doing something big at the sanctuary, and it'll probably revolve around getting people to try and support the Big Cats and Public Safety Act.
That's so wonderful. How can people go hunting for a canned lion? It's just terrible. They should, do a show on National Geographic about that
Well,
to make people aware. How cowardly.
and the biggest problem is that people don't realize that the industry that fuels that provides those cats for shooting, is the one where people pay to go and have their pictures made with a cub. So they go to mostly in South Africa, but they go there and they're told that, oh, these animals are going to be reintroduced to the wild, and we need you to bottle feed them and to play with them and to support us so that we can repopulate the wild. And it's all a lie. There's not a single place down there that really does that. They're all being raised to be sent to these canned hunts for people to shoot them. So if we could just stop the petting and that whole industry, that would stop fueling all of these animals being sent out there to be shot in cages.
Well, another thing too is, aren't they tame?
Yes, they've been handled
Carol,
by people.
aren't they tame lions? They're tame, right?
Right. They've been handled their whole lives. They've been bottle fed by people. And that's, it makes great targets because they don't run.
So who are you going after? The government to stop that?
What we're trying to do is to raise awareness about the fact that this is happening, and to let people know that anytime they're going to any of these parks, even though they call themselves conservation centers and everything else, that none of them that are breeding animals, breeding cats, none of them that are breeding cats are serving any kind of conservation value. There's no reintroduction program for big cats. It's all just to fuel the canned hunt industry. So, there's been some efforts to try and get the government to change their rules, but here's what happens. The government says, okay, we're going to regulate the number of lions that can be shot each year. And so if you run a safari ranch, then you might get 10 permits to shoot 10 lions. But what happens is they bring people in, they let them shoot the lions, But then they call somebody here in the United States who is doing the same thing, paying to play with the baby lion cubs, and then they've got all these excess lions. They call those places that are hoarding those lions and say, okay, this hunter shot a lion here, so I need you to kill one of the lions there, ship it to him so he thinks that that's his trophy. Now they haven't used that same permit that they had for the one, if they had 10 permits to use, they can keep using those 10 over and over and over, because they're not actually shipping any lions out of South Africa. They're just killing them and burying them there, or doing whatever they do with them, probably selling the bones into the tiger bone wine industry, since it's illegal to use tiger bones. People use lion bones because you can't tell it apart. But what people don't realize is, even though they are just killing all of these lions in the wild, that permitting system doesn't work, because they're killing way more than the ones that the government say they can, by providing the hunters with these captive-born cats from the United States. And the hunter doesn't know any different. They don't remember when they killed that lion, did it have this little speck here and this little speck here? To them, if it's a male lion they shot down there and a male lion that they got up here, they don't know that they didn't get the lion they actually killed.
Oh, that is so barbaric.
It really is.
It's just terrible. Oh. I know I first found out about canned hunting from the Humane Society International, and saw something on TV where if they have like a deer or some kind of other exotic animal, that they could just walk up and walk into this area, and they walk up to them, they're tame. They just shoot them. How can they do that? It's terrible.
I do not understand it. Speaking of which, people say, you really need a good documentary to wake people up. Did you see Blackfish?
Yes, I did.
I haven't seen it
I feel so sorry for the... Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Tell me about it.
There was, I think 2 or 3 weekends... Well, there was 2 or 3 weekends ago where they kept playing it over and over and over again. And I have never really been a fan of SeaWorld. But this poor orca whale, Tilikum, that basically they're just using him for a breeding machine now, is what it is, because he has the mental depression, and he's aggressive towards other orca whales, and it's just like the elephants, when you see them swaying their heads or pacing back and forth, I mean, they're going insane. And so what's so sad is that, and of course the trainers, they're covering up a lot of the trainers that are being killed. That poor gal, I can't remember her name, but where Tilikum had grabbed her by the ponytail and dragged her down to the bottom. And in this video, another trainer that luckily he kept very calm, but this other orca whale had his foot in his mouth. And I mean, he could have just bit it off so easily. But he just was talking soothingly to the orca whale. These are huge animals. These trainers should not be in the water with these animals. Some of the aggressive orca whales were shipped to another Mexican facility where there's a guy that was killed down there, and they didn't tell him this orca whale was aggressive. And can you blame them that it's like a human living in a cupboard or being in a bathtub for the rest of your life? It should be against the law. SeaWorld, I really feel, should be shut down. It's so same thing with the dolphins. The dolphins that are shipped from Taiji, Japan. They're either, if they're not slaughtered, then they're shipped here to be trained. And they withhold their food, and they tease them and everything. And it's just, people need to be more aware of how these animals are abused, just like the tigers in the circus and the elephants in the circus. Ringling Brothers Circus is the worst, but it's just really sad because they train all animals that are in the circus are trained with abuse, and it's not fair. It really isn't.
The people that we have known that have been circus trainers have always said that they only train using positive reinforcement. And I just don't believe that, because we do positive reinforcement here where we need the cat to lean up against the wire to get their annual shots, or to let us take their tail out to draw blood, or to show us their paw. Those kinds of things. We give them rewards. But if they don't want to do it, they just walk away. And if you've got a show that you've got to put on, that kind of training isn't going to make the animal reliable. So I really believe that they are trained using intimidation and force, and the public is never going to see that, because if the public did, they would stop it in a heartbeat.
Right. Well, I actually picketed against Ringling Brothers Circus in Tucson and also in Phoenix. And actually, when I found out from some of the security guards that the elephants, they are terribly fearful of their trainers. And even though they're not doing anything, they still beat them with the bull hooks right before they go on the show. And I would picket, I was with PETA picketing before the show, and then after the show was over, I was there picketing, showing baby elephants that were, abused up on their hind legs. And it's really sad because when they're doing the breeding, and they have the breeding facility actually down there, I think it's called Fellsmore, Florida, is where Ringling Brothers has their breeding facility. But basically, the tigers that are being forced to jump through the fire hoops, tigers are afraid of fire, and we had people come out afterwards saying the tigers were scared, the elephants were sad, and I just can't believe how far behind the United States is when it comes to the circus, especially Ringling Brothers, which is being backed up with lots and lots of money. But why would you want to take your child to the circus to see animals that either they're unhappy, they're sad, they're some of them you can see fresh bull hook marks on them. The babies that are born usually end up getting some form of herpes, which they either are sick or it's a bad situation all around. It really is.
It does shock me that the United States is so far behind so many other countries that have banned using wild animals in circuses, or that have banned the private possession of wild animals. I just don't understand how we can be such a progressive society and still condone such a miserable life for these animals.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And I think it starts with our government. If we had more USDA agents that were out there checking the circuses, checking the farm factories where there's a lot of abuse occurring, in the farm factories. When there's undercover agents from Mercy for Animals, or as far as people taking videos of an elephant that is being abused. I mean, we're the eyes and ears, and we're the voice for these animals out there. And I think I love, In Defense of Animals, and I really like Born Free, and there's so many agencies. Animal Defenders International with Jan Kramer. She's the one that had worked real hard with Bob Barker to get these animals, these lions, rescued that had been living their lives in rusty cages. And that's what was so rewarding, is when they got to pause and they put their feet on grass and on the earth and felt the sun on their faces. It was so wonderful. It really was.
Animal Defenders
Yeah.
International has recently come up on my radar because of the whole circus issue. And the more I look into them, the more I really admire the work that they are doing. And I would suggest that anybody out there who is looking to support a animal protection agency, that they help out Animal Defenders International, because they are really doing the necessary work to stop the use of wild animals in circuses all around the world. And hopefully they will have some success in this country. I know Bob Barker has been pushing for a bill that would ban the use of wild animals in circuses. Unfortunately, our bill, the Big Cats and Public Safety Protection Act, exempts the major circuses because they have a lot of money. And what we're trying primarily to do is end all of these little roadside menageries and the private possession of big cats. But we'll never get that bill passed, we're told, as long as the circus has so much money to throw at lobbyists to fight us. And so it's another reason that we feel like people shouldn't be supporting the circus, because by doing so, it's thwarting other legislation that would stop so much abuse.
Well, there is actually our network where when there's going to be a circus in town, there's a couple elephants for sure. Nosy is an elephant that's older, and she's owned by a gentleman, Hugh Leibel, and she gives elephant rides, which is another thing that's very abusive. Luckily, in quite a few towns in California, there's a place called Have Trunk Will Travel, and Animal Defenders International had taken some videos of them training their elephants, very abusive training with tasers and bull hooks. Even a little baby elephant named Hugo was being pulled by his trunk and hit on the head with a bull hook. And these people pretend that they're kind to their elephants and that they love them and they treat them, they're teaching them with positive reinforcement, and it's the total opposite. And Animal Defenders International, which is it's info at ad-international.org, had taken undercover videos, and luckily they were able to get a lot of the elephant rides at some of the county fairs in California shut down, where they do not allow them to be there. There's a commercial on TV right now, which is Spiriva, the anti-asthma, and they have the elephant that is sitting on the woman or sitting on the man. And that elephant, her name is Rosie, is from Have Trunk Will Travel. And every time I see that commercial, I just want to throw something at the TV, because, you know, same thing with the movie Water for Elephants, and they featured either Ty or Rosie. That animal was really abused. I didn't see the movie because there was a boycott. As you notice, it wasn't up in the theaters very long, because they did boycott the movie. But that elephant was truly abused like that to make her do the acts in that movie. So there's just no excuse, because none of these animals have a voice. They're innocent. They're minding their own business. They're either bred into this slavery market. Same thing with the horse-drawn carriages that are up in New York. These are flight animals. They don't want to be, you know, tacked onto a carriage and be dragging people around in the diesel fumes and the traffic and all the loud noises in New York. And hopefully with their new mayor, Elizabeth Farrell, Bill de Blasio is really going to be a man of his word, and let's hope that he gets this abusive industry shut down, and we find good homes for all those horses. We're hoping we do, so that's our goal.
Well, there are a lot of accredited sanctuaries through the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, so they should be able to find homes for the horses, I would think.
Well, and we have to make sure we track it. We have to make sure these carriage drivers are wicked, and they are already upset. And you know, we have to make sure that there's a few horses from the carriage industry that were saved. Bobby 2 was one of the horses that Elizabeth Farrell, that they tracked, and then right before he was going to go to auction, they tracked and made sure that they saved him. But we have to make sure that these horses are, if and when this industry is shut down, that they just don't automatically send the horses to slaughter, that they need to find these wonderful, faithful horses a good home where they can be running loose in the fields and rolling in the grass and just socializing and being happy with each other. And that's thing in working with Orphan Acres, the Horse Rescue Ranch, it is so wonderful. And their website is orphanacres.org. But it's and I've got quite a few things on my blog, but it's so wonderful to see the horses, you know, frolicking with each other and nuzzling up against each other and just being horses, you know. That's what it's all about. So.
You know, you said something earlier that made me think, and that was when you mentioned the commercial, that you said, every time I see that, it upsets me. And I think, how many of these advertising agencies use baby animals, baby wild animals, thinking that it's going to attract buyers to their clients, when in fact animal lovers like you and I, and there are a lot of animal lovers out there who are pretty well informed, they just shudder when they see these images, and it just creates such a bad reputation for their clients that I've often kind of wondered, how do we target the ad agencies in such a way that they understand that this is really a bad message and is harming their clients? And I just don't know where you find that list of who are all of the ad agencies out there that might do something stupid like use a chimp or a cub or a elephant, for goodness sakes.
Well, the thing is that you can start petitions. I'm not really good at I'm good at signing petitions and forwarding them on, but as far as starting a petition, I know that there's some people that are really good as far as getting at the root of who owns that insurance company. For instance, I used to have all of my web pages through GoDaddy, and when GoDaddy went over to Africa and shot an elephant, the next day I canceled my 3 websites.
Wow.
My blog, my 3 or 4 email addresses. I canceled it all because I will not deal with somebody where they believe it's okay to go and shoot an elephant. Enough of them are being slaughtered with the poaching and everything, and it's just so bad it's ridiculous that in China they believe that the tigers, that their bones can be used for medicine. And I mean, there's just so many. Sometimes you just have to shut down and just not look at it because there's just so much animal abuse occurring. Dogs and cats being eaten in Korea and Vietnam and all that. It's really crazy, is what it is. So, yeah, we just have to do what we can as far as helping animals, and that's why Big Cat Rescue is so wonderful. In the fact that all of your big cats are so happy. And Flavio, now is Flavio, he's 24 years old, is he the oldest tiger in the United States or in the world?
He's the oldest tiger in the world, and next month is his 25th birthday, so he's going to be even older.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
You're going to have a big birthday party? You're going to have a big birthday party then?
It'll probably consist of a big meat cake for him.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be great. And his health is good?
His health is good. He's very arthritic, of course, and he's had to have injections in his elbows several times to help ease the stiffness. But other than that, he's got a good appetite and good disposition. All is good in his world. And you were worried about talking for an hour, but we're down to like our last 4 minutes. And so
oh my goodness! Wow!
I can't thank you enough for...
Amazing.
It is amazing. It just goes so fast. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us, because I know you're a very busy person, even though you have the luxury of working from your home and setting your own hours and deciding what days you're going to work. You're a real go-getter, and I think it's why you've been so successful and why you attract other successful people to you. So in the last couple of minutes here, would you like to tell people how they can find out more about your business and how they can create their own home business?
Yes. Well, first of all, just look up my blog, which is earthandanimalwellness.com. That's my blog. You can email me directly. My phone number is on there also, so feel free to give me a call at 208-875-8884. You can help Big Cat Rescue by passively donating through your grocery purchases at our wholesale health and wellness company, and you can help yourself too. So for those of you that are in between jobs, or the economy is hurting your income, or if you've been affected by Obamacare where your insurance is going to be double the price, we can definitely help you supplement your income with an extra $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 a month. And for those of you that do support Big Cat Rescue, thank you so much, because we really appreciate the fact that you're helping the voiceless. And Carole, we thank you so much for being such an advocate for protecting the big cats that are out there. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank you. And given the fact that some of the content was rather controversial, I think it's important to say that, the things that I have said have been my opinion, and the things that you have said have been your opinion. But I think probably most animal lovers out there would share those opinions with us. At least I would hope so.
Yes.
Thank you
Yep,
again.
I agree.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Carole. Appreciate it. And Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Since this is going to air on Christmas, I guess we
Bye-bye.
should say Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Yep. Okay. Okay, bye, Carole. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.